Hello everyone, my name is John. Today I will tell you how to set up an integration to transfer new leads from Webflow to GetResponse. This is necessary to automatically transfer new leads from Webflow to other systems. For example, in GetResponse you can add new contacts and set up email campaigns for them. Now let's move on to the setup. First, you need to create a new connection. Next, select the data source system, Webflow. Now, select the action, Get Form Data, New. At this stage you need to connect your Webflow account to the ApiX-Drive service. In this window you must specify the login and password of your Webflow personal account. At this stage we provide access to your workspace. When the connected login appears in the list of active accounts, select it and click Continue. At this stage, we select the website on which we will receive new data. At this stage you can set up a data filter. In this case there is no need for this, so we also click Continue. At this point, you will see test data for one of your Webflow leads. If there is no data at this stage, you need to fill out a form on the website. To do this, go to your Webflow personal account. Open your form for which you want to receive new leads, fill it out and send. After successfully submitting the form, return to the ApiX-Drive system and continue configuration. When the test data appears at this stage, click Continue. At this point, setting up the Webflow data source has been successfully completed. Now you need to move on to setting up the data destination. Select the system GetResponse. Next you need to select an action, Add Contact. At this stage you need to connect your GetResponse account to the ApiX-Drive system. In this window you need to specify the address for API requests and the API key. You can find out which address for API requests to use for your GetResponse account in GetResponse support. In order to get an API key, go to your GetResponse personal account. Then go to Settings, Integrations and API section. Now go to the API tab. Click Generate API Key. Specify a name for the new API key. Copy the API key and paste it into the appropriate field in the ApiX-Drive system. When the required fields are filled in, click Continue. When the connected account appears in the list of active accounts, select it and click Continue. At this stage, you need to select campaign to which new contacts will be added with each new Webflow lead. Now, you see GetResponse fields for creating new contacts. You can assign variables from Webflow to these fields. In order to do this, click in the field and select a variable from the drop-down list. When all required fields are filled in, click Continue. At this point, you see an example of the data that will be sent to GetResponse in the form of new contacts for each new lead from Webflow. If you are not satisfied with something, click Edit and you will go back a step. In order to check the correctness of the settings, click Send Test Data to GetResponse. After successful sending, go to GetResponse and check the result. If you are satisfied with everything, return to the ApiX-Drive system and continue setting up. At this point, setting up GetResponse as a data destination has been successfully completed. Now you need to enable auto-update and select an update interval, for example, once every 5 minutes. That's all. I wish you successful integration settings and good luck.